What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade. Put a ring on it. Season 4, Episode 1 review. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken seriously or literally, meaning my jokes. So if that works for you, then let's get into tonight's review. So we have a new season of Put a Ring on It and a new host. The show is now being hosted by Stacey J. Johnson. I've seen her on quite a few shows throughout the years, so I think that she'll be a great addition to the show. I wonder why the old host didn't come back. Don't know. But anywho, so we have 3 new couples this season, and we find out that at some point during the season we'll have a 4th couple to come in, or maybe somebody quits the show and that's why the other couple comes in. I don't know. So we first meet Dunbar and Chance, who have been together for a year. He's a former NFL player. Their first day was at the hospital because she was having stomach issues, and come to find out, she had to get her appendix removed. She says that he's the most compassionate man that she's ever met in her life. And Dunbar, in her confession, was like, he's going to marry her. He wants to marry her, but he thinks that she has a lot to learn. He says, I need someone to rub my feet, cook my dinner, and make sure the clothes are washed. And she agrees that she needs to be more domesticated. I mean, if that's the type of relationship they want to have, all power to them. I hope that he's reciprocating those things to her. That's the only thing that I have a concern with. You know, if she ain't got no problem doing it, you go right ahead, girl. But hopefully he's willing to do the same things for her. The next couple is Joya and Jashay, or was it Jashay or Jasha? Something like that, child. They've been together for 2 years. They travel the world together. She's ready to be married, but he feels like they should wait another 2 to 3 years before they get married and have children. But that is a non-negotiable for her because she really wants to have kids, and time is a ticking, and she's in her late 30s already. And you know, the older that you get in your 30s, the more the less of a chance it is for you to get pregnant. So I understand where she's coming from. Then we have Catherine and Ricky. They met in 2012. They dated, but I think it was a long distance relationship. So they end up cutting things off. They met back up a year later. They met back up a year ago and started back dating. She's moved in with him. He's already been married and he failed at it. He said miserably. He's not ready to jump into another relationship. He's not ready to jump into another marriage. My bad. They've been friends so long that she feels they're suffering in the romance department. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. When it came to them, I was given 2 homeboys, homegirl, or whatever that decided to come on this show and pretend they was in a relationship. It wasn't giving me real relationship at first. I still got my eye on them to see if this is all real, because it was giving me homie vibes. And maybe that's the problem, that they do come across more as friends than they do actual lovers. I mean, that is what she said. So maybe it's just me seeing what's the problem. So all the couples sit down and talk to Shay, the host, and Shay was like, you all will be going on dates with other people, and we're going to start with the women, and it begins right now. So the ladies are shocked. They're unprepared for this because this is not normally how the show goes. So the ladies have to go home, change their clothes, get, refreshed for their dates. Chance looks really cute. She has short, blonde, bald cut like me, but my hair is not blonde right now. It'll be in another week. Makeup, really cute, little hot pink shirt, some wide leg jeans. She looked really cute. Dunbar was like, you got my meal ready for me? And she was like, I do. And she pulled his plate out out the microwave, child. And he was like, you just sit it down right there. Let's talk before you go. And it was giving me very much, and I put this in my notes, you guys. It was giving me principal and student, father and daughter, not my man. I was like, why you talk to her like she his subordinate? It was weird to me. And he telling her the game plan on how the date gonna go. Her date arrives. His name is Phil, and he's 32 years old, and he's from New York. And that's when we find out that Dunbar is older than Chance, because he was like, these dudes at her age, they childish and this, that, and the third. And Dunbar looks just like Floyd Mayweather, like could literally be his doppelganger. So the dude walk in the house, and Dunbar was like, when you walk in a man's house, you don't bring in trash. And dude looked down at his shoes. He was like, you calling my shoes trash? He was like, and I mean, a lot of people don't want you walking around in their house with their shoes on. So he was like, take your shoes off. But he talking to the dude like he his son. Like, what is going on here? Like, he like literally pressing this dude like he's her tyrannical father, sending his daughter out on her first date at the age of 16. So Dunbar then talks to the dude once again like he's her daddy, and says to the dude like, I like to eat, so when you come back, make sure y'all got me some food too. I would have laughed at that Negro face. I would have been like either laughing like or I would have been like, you know what? It ain't even that serious, baby. Stay where you at. I ain't got time for this foolishness, and left. Because who you talking to? So Dunbar was like, I want to say a prayer before we go. And he make Chance stand behind him, and he holding the dude's hands, and he's saying, his prayer. And then he was like, Lord, I haven't always been saved. So I pray this brother realizes that these same hands we pray and bless with will also bless his ass. And I was like, well, all right. That boy said, and in his confessional, he was like, I have never been threatened in a prayer before. I'm nervous. Like, he was literally shook. And I'm like, this dude, it was funny, but it was doing team too much because he was messing with the process. So Chance and the dude go out on a date, and Phil say he trying to find himself. And I'm like, well, dude, how you sitting up here talking about you want to be in a relationship, but you trying to find yourself? If you don't know yourself, how can you get to know me? Like, absolutely not. You don't need to be here. You need to be on somebody's therapy couch. So after the date, he returns her home. It seemed like their entire date, they were just laughing and kikiing with each other. It didn't seem like there was any type of chemistry on her end. I think he liked her, but I don't think the feelings were mutual. So he returns her home, and he was like, Phil was like, he probably in here stressed out right now. Sure enough, they show Dunbar in the house looking at his phone, telling him, so she still ain't home. Just like a daddy. So he goes and opens the door and kisses Chance on the lips and then on the cheeks, like steady going in. It was quite sexy. It was quite sexy and very alpha male-ish, and it did make him look good. But it was also very childish because, like, dang on well that girl don't want that man. So dude was like, here, we end up getting you some food. I was like, you really got this man a takeout order? You really did it. You let him punk you into getting him some food. You really, right then and there, if I did like you, all my juices have dried, child. My nipples have shriveled up at this point because no way did you let him punk you into bringing him some food. Like, get off my doorstep, please. Please go. And at that point, it was a wrap. It was a wrap at that point for him. So we then go to Jasha and Joya as they're preparing for her date. And she was like, do we have any rules or anything? And he was like, no, we ain't got no boundaries. And when he said that, I was thinking in my head, either he don't have no fear of you straying or liking anybody, like he's just that confident in y'all relationship, or he's saying no boundaries because when he start going on dates, he don't want to have no boundaries and he can get away with it, because that would have been a cause of concern for me. But she was just like, okay, like, I'm like, girl, are you not putting the signs together? What is going on? So her date arrives, and his name is Kyle. He's 48 years old. He had a real funny shaped head and face, just not my he wouldn't have got my engines a roaring. So during their date, they kind of go back and forth a little bit, laughing and talking. And he offers to take Joya on a picnic. And she was like, oh my God, because that's something that she's been asking Jasha to do for quite a long time, and he hasn't done it yet. And I was like, y'all better start listening when your woman say she wants something, because there's somebody else out there that will do it for her, okay? And when she gets back home from her date, she tells Jasha that, everything was peachy keen, didn't nothing happen or anything like that, but that she did wipe a crumb from off of the side of his mouth, and he kissed the outside of her hand. So he was like, that's kind of intimate. Like, you let him do that? And she was like, yeah, it was nothing. You said there was no boundaries. And he was like, okay, well, when I go on my date, I might kiss somebody's hand. And she was like, no, because he's a single man. You're not single. You're in a relationship. Like, what you look like. She was like, don't play with me. Don't play with me. And so the way he responded made me go back to my first thought, where he was just that confident that she ain't gonna stray, that he wasn't tripping off the fact that he said no boundaries or whatever, until she got back from the date and then told him everything that happened, and it made him feel some type of way. So I was like, you better be careful with what you say, honey. The other girl, what's her name? Catherine, she went out on her date. She was nervous or whatever. I personally feel like she need to break up with her boyfriend because of his hairstyle. Just his hairstyle alone was childish. So I'm like, girl, no. So she ended up going out on a date with a dude named Mark. He's 33 years old. They was laughing and having a really good time with one another. And it was like when the dude got there, though, Ricky was like, here, have him. It was like pushing out the door. Like, he just skidding and grinning and laughing. Wasn't phased at all. And it was like, are y'all just friends? Do he not care? Does he have just a I don't care flipping attitude about life? Because I was like, girl, he damn near kicked you in your back out the door. So the couples then all gather after their dates with Shay. And Chance tells everybody about how Dunbar act and, the prayer that he did and everything. And Shay was like, what was that for? And Dunbar says, I have a right to choose who I let her out my house with. She ain't no stray dog. Like, what? She ain't your property, bro. Like, And she just is sitting there in her little red jumpsuit, just smiling, because she liked that. You know what I'm saying? And Shay was like, you do? And he was like, yes, I do. And Shay was like, okay, you sounding like a father. That's not your daughter, though. And he was like, he reiterates what he said. He just changed the words around. So Catherine was like, this nigga here. So, and rolled her eyes. So Shay was like, I love a man that protects a woman, but how do you feel about that much control over your life? Chance was like, I don't think he's controlling at all. I understand when somebody's coming in his house, you have to play by his rules. But once again, love, I thought that was y'all house, and he ain't your employee. He ain't your daddy. Like, that's your man. Like, I think that the roles are mixed up somewhere because of this age difference. So Shay was like, so when you're released from your father, and Chance was like, he came off a little childish. Dunbar made him bring him some food or whatever. She said that Phil came off across a little childish. And she says that, Dunbar made him bring him some food home. And Shay was like, what is the need of that? Like, what is this need to dominate Chance? And Chance like, he's not dominating me. I need to reiterate that. He's not dominating me. And Shay was like, there is a sense of you're controlling the narrative with this gentleman, then you are controlling the narrative of Chance. Because when a woman sees a man talk to another man like that, it leaves her thinking, oh, this is a little boy right here. And that's exactly what he did. He controlled the narrative of that date as soon as dude knocked on the door and he started talking to him like he was Bishop Dunbar. Like, he put him in his place, sunned him, punked him. So even when you left out the door, if you even were remotely attracted to him, that flew out the window, because he ain't got no backbone and no swag and no confidence within himself. So Catherine agrees. And she was like, I feel like you didn't give him an opportunity to be his best self, or for her to see him be his best self, because you did step in and sun him. And Dunbar is just stunned. Like, what? Like, he can't believe that that's something that he did. Like, he does not see any fault with what he did. And Chance was like, he didn't disrespect him. Do y'all think that he disrespected him? And everybody was like, yeah. And Jashay jumps in, was like, you can be a warrior and still be peaceful. Treat other people as if you'd want to be treated. And I 100% agree. So Shay was like, I mean, if he's having this type of behavior, controlling, And Chance was like, he doesn't control me. And Shay was like, but it is control, because he controlled the trajectory. I can't even talk. Because he controlled the trajectory of how your date went. How does that work for this process? And Chance was like, I don't mind him being a man. And she was like, but is that being a man, or is that being a controlling father? And Chance like, I think he's a king. And Shay was like, interesting. I never thought a king disrespected other men. And I was like, you better read and get her together, because baby, she got it in her mind what it is and what it's going to be, that I'm like, why are you here if you don't want to take nobody's advice and listen to what people are telling you? If everybody in the room is telling you that your man was wrong, they ain't just saying it just to hate on you or whatever. Like, I don't understand how you don't see that what he did was wrong. Like, that's not cute how he behaved. You know, we all want an alpha male that's going to step up, you know, and, you know, do his thing. But he did ruin the date. He did not respect the date. He didn't respect the process. And he did son that little dude. So, the episode basically went off after that, child. And it was kind of like left on a little cliffhanger for next week. But I like the couple so far for this season. I still got my eye on Catherine and Ricky. I don't know about them. Chance, to me, seems like she don't want to listen. Dunbar does have a father complex that he needs to break. Jashay, if I'm Jasha, I don't know how to say that man's name. He seemed like he might be too laid back. And his girl, what's that girl name? Joya. She seems like a nice, cool girl. But yeah, I think this is a good cast. I can't wait to see who's going to be the other couple. So far, I'm liking this season. I give the first episode of the season an A. I think it was really good. It kept me interested. I didn't have any really like boring moments at all. So y'all let me know what y'all thought of episode 1 from season 4 of Put a Ring on It. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. Also, you guys, Monday I will be dropping my home tour video of my dining room and my guest room. Sorry that the video is coming up late, but it will be airing on Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.